It's a live shot for you of Lower Manhattan, some of the Occupy Wall Street protesters here in New York City, where that movement began. As we mentioned to you earlier, they are promising more demonstrations today on the 2-month anniversary of their movement, not just here in New York City, but across the country.
And planning to make some major disruptions here in Lower Manhattan today. We'll see what happens with that. But in Washington, their message may not be getting through. Congressional Republicans have drawn a line against raising taxes on anyone, including the 1% that the Occupy protesters object to. But one group is telling Congress the unthinkable. They are ready to pay more. Appearing on Capitol Hill Wednesday, former Google executive Doug Edwards urged lawmakers to end the Bush-era tax cuts for his fellow millionaires.
We believe that the 0.1%, we should pay more taxes. We want to pay more taxes.
According to one study, millionaires now pay a smaller percentage of their income in taxes than ever before, down more than 50% in the last 50 years.
The whole world is watching!
Occupy Wall Street protesters charge that the dramatically lowered tax rate has created the greatest disparity in income between wealthy and average Americans in history.
The 99%!
Former Labor Secretary Robert Wragge agrees.
The 400 richest Americans now own more of America than the bottom 150 million Americans.
And Reich says America's wealthiest have a moral responsibility to their country.
The fundamental problem is that we are losing equal opportunity in America. We are losing the moral foundation stone on which this country and our democracy are built.
And joining us now is one of the millionaires who told lawmakers to raise his taxes. Charlie Fink is a former AOL executive who's now an entrepreneur and producer. Good morning. Good to see you here this morning.
Good morning, Chris.
So after yesterday, how was the message received?
Well, as you might imagine, progressive members of Congress, like Speaker Pelosi and Senator Kerry, were very receptive to our message. But I would say that conservatives and Republicans in general were polite and receptive and listened to what we had to say, since we're the ones who are going to have to pay for this mess.
All right, so I'm sure there's some people out there that are also saying, you want to pay more taxes? Well, go ahead. You've got all this money. You do it. What do you say to the people that just say, if you want to do this, just voluntarily check the box that says you want to pay more taxes and you take care of it? You've got millions and millions of dollars.
Well, I don't think that the United States government is a charity, nor do I think that a few dozen or a few hundred individuals donating is really going to help the country solve its physical problems. So asking people to voluntarily donate to the government is rather like asking one person in a rowboat to row.
So you've got these other millionaires together, and you come up with this plan of getting all millionaires to pay more taxes. How do you get that message out? How do you cast a wider net?
Well, first of all, our message is very simple, which is just let the Bush tax cuts expire. Has any nation in history cut taxes to its wealthiest citizens while launching 2 open-ended foreign wars? So we have dug ourselves a hole much deeper and bigger than the one dug in World War II, which was paid off, by the way, with taxes in the range of 70 to 90%, and that was under Republican President Eisenhower. And certainly nobody wants to see that. So I think in the short term, paying 39.6%, which we paid under the tremendous economic expansion of the 90s, there is no evidence that the low tax environment that we've experienced for the last 10 years has created any jobs at all.
Okay, we've got an unemployment problem right now. Jobs is a huge issue across the board. How do you respond to the criticism of those who say that raising taxes on the job creators, the wealthy, kills jobs?
But that's simply a lie. People who create jobs because of demand for their products and services, not because of taxes. And taxes are never a factor in deciding to hire someone.
So what's the next move now? What can you do?
Well, we're hoping that to add our voices to those that the legislators are hearing, and specifically that the super committee is hearing. And we're saying, wealthy people are often not heard from. We like to operate in secret. So our group is raising our hand and saying, yes, we're wealthy, and we're the people who are going to pay those larger taxes, and we're willing to do it to have a healthy economy and a healthy country.
All right. Charlie Fink, thanks so much for taking the time this morning. We appreciate it. Good to talk with you.
Thank you.